Good morning. Welcome to another video here at Ramos and Sons Body Shop. I wanted to do a quick update. Today is Saturday. I think it's November, I don't know, 20th? Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so just a quick update on a couple of cars that we did some videos on earlier and continuation of the truck that the guys are building for the shop. So first of all, we're going to walk through here. You're going to notice it's pretty crowded. We got a lot of cars in here. Over the weekend, we put a lot of cars in here just to keep them warm and dry and safe. And some of them don't have windows in them. Some of them just are torn apart. You can see we're doing a couple of trucks here. So they take the whole beds off and they do put new ones on. Here's one here, this red one. Had some rust issues on it and some damage, so we're cleaning up the metal and putting in new metal, new steel actually, and he's going to get a whole new bedside on this side, I think the other side as well. But anyway, I wanted to do an update on this truck here. It's a Duramax. It's a 2017. We talked about that in a previous video, that it was missing this side support here, and actually it just came in. Turns out I checked with Cowboy, our parts guy, and he says it's been 6 weeks approximately that we've been waiting for this part. And so it just came in, so now we're going to get going back on this truck right away and try to get this finished up. And then, so now all the parts are here, everything is in. Next, I want to do an update on the truck that they're building for us. Sam, it's a good thing you're a lot taller. You can reach up here. So you can see they took the cab off of it and pulled this right off the frame and pulled it right off. And they did all their welding, I think over in this area here and then over here. So the structure is now all together. We're going to start cleaning up the welds, and I think there's just a little bit more work that they're going to do to the welds. There's just a really small amount of body work that has to be done here on the corner of this door. But other than that, the truck is relatively clean, pretty solid. And they'll undercoat the underbody on this. They'll hang the fenders, do the hood, do all the panel work and body work, and then they're going to paint it. So this is the update on this truck here. It happens to be, I don't think I mentioned a year, this is a 2005 Ford truck. And you know, after being in this industry for as many years as I have been, along with the towing companies, and seeing the amount of money that we spend on trucks, an average of about $115,000 a truck, and every year it goes up even higher. So I decided, well, again, you know, might as well build this truck. It's going to be a lot cheaper than to buy another truck, and there's going to be some things that we're going to do to this truck that's going to be a multi-use truck for us. It'll be able to haul the fifth wheel, a gooseneck, and I think they're going to put a pinto hitch, and again I alluded to something that they're going to put under the body, and they'll also do that as well. As time goes on and as we get those parts, I'll show you what that's going to be. But they did find a very, very small amount of bubbling right in this cab corner. I don't know if you can see it or not, but so in order to get that bubbling out of there, that's rust that starts from within. And when I see this, I know that I'm going to get rid of that whole panel, at least up to this section here, maybe even higher. It's all going to depend on how high up that rust goes. But they'll cut this whole section out of here and then replace it with a new one. So we'll get to some of that stuff in the future on a video. But this is a great opportunity for us at this point to look for any defects and make sure that we address them now before we put it all together. So again, this is something that we are mindful of. We know exactly what it is. It's rust, and we want to make sure that we get it addressed. So what we're going to do is go outside. I'll show you the frame and the box. As I said, we're going to get rid of it. On this side there, I can feel it. You really can't see it, but this one also has some bubbling, a very, very small amount of bubbling, but I know that if we don't address it now, it's going to come within a year. So the best thing to do is just cut the whole panel off and put a new panel on it. With rust work, trying to patch it does not work. Trying to put Bondo, trying to put fiberglass does not work. In my eyes, you're just throwing your money away. The best reality is replace the whole panel. And yes, it's pretty expensive, but the reality is, again, these trucks are very expensive. So it's going to be much more cost effective for us to build a truck than it is to go buy a truck. Especially nowadays, it's hard to even find trucks to buy. So, and if I were to try to buy a 1-ton F-350 four-wheel drive extended or dual cab truck right now, again, I'm going to guess with what we're going to do to it, it's probably going to be maybe $125,000 to $130,000. So it's going to be so much cheaper for me to do it this way. So let's go outside and we'll take a look at we're doing again today's Saturday, and we primarily just come in and clean up, but you can see there's, you know, they bring all the cars in here, so I got to navigate my way out of here. Now we just pulled this frame and motor out of the building. Because we're going to end up taking this over to our towing company. We got a guy there named Keith. He handles a lot of the diesel work that we do, and the mechanic there at the towing companies. And so we're going to take this over to him. He's going to go right through the whole motor and get that taken care of. This here also, the frame is really solid. We are going to be securing this frame with I think they called it double framing it from the box back, and so in other words, we're going to put an additional section of frame on it for what we're going to do with the truck. And even though it's only going to be a single axle rear, we still want to reinforce the truck for what our plans are for it in the future here. But they'll go right through the transmission, right through the whole engine. There was no real frame damage, just a little minor tweak on it, so they were able to take care of that without an issue. One of the processes they do, it was so minor that they didn't end up they don't put heat on it. They cannot put heat on it. But they did straighten that out, and they've checked a few other things here to make sure it's going to be worth it and not have to replace it, so we can go through it and that'll be all right. There is one frame section here they'll put on new. I think this is welded on, so they'll just cut this right off, and then they can buy this piece separately and put a brand new one on there. We are going to order some tires and some rims for it. These aren't too bad, but again, there's a few other things we're going to do to it along with the tires and rims. Here we have these springs. We're going to put airbags in these springs. We do have them in the rear, and they work fine, so we're also going to put them in the front so that we can also level the truck out when we need to, because there is going to be about a 9.5 foot V-plow that I'm going to put on it. I've had that plow for actually going on 12 years now, and it's just a great plow. It still looks brand new. It still works great. So that's the plow we're going to put on this truck. And so that was just a quick update on what we have planned for this truck. And the Duramax, the part came in. That's a great thing. And just a couple of other things that we are doing here on a Saturday.